Welcome to Is It Wrong to Watch So Much Anime with Jason and John, as we give you a quick 15 to 20 minutes of inside opinion and updates about the world of anime as we see it. This program is brought to you by the Parker Williams Branch, a Harris County Public Library. Let's go over the rules. This is a planned topics podcast. We will try and stick to the topic at hand and not have too many tangents. Number 2, while recording, we will have a 15-minute timer. We will try to wrap everything up within that 15 minutes. If we are having a good conversation towards the end of that time, there will be a bonus 5 minutes to wrap it up. Number 3, if the conversation is still too good to stop, we will stop recording that episode and start recording an overtime episode back-to-back released on the same day. And a fair warning, spoilers happen. Oops, our bad. Hello and welcome to this Black Friday edition of Is It Wrong to Watch So Much Anime?
It's still not.
So you spent a lot of time with your family yesterday, or maybe you didn't, and you got a break. So
To each their own.
in the spirit of Thanksgiving and togetherness, we are going to be talking about the different Kooky families that we have found here and there in anime. So here's a spoiler. There's a lot of dead moms.
Yes, that is one of anime's, let's go with second favorite trope. I feel like there's one above it, but if your kid is, ever born with the protagonist hair, the one that differentiates from like the norm completely, just know that that's basically your death flag. Mm-hmm. You will not survive.
If you have a successful child, this is not going to go so well for you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, make sure that you do not have your hair on one side and braid it.
Yes, we can probably even put in the meme that shows the truth. So
it's called the hair of death hairstyle.
Exactly.
So it's the motherly side plait. Plait meaning braid with 3 or more strands.
And as you will see, and the stuff we mentioned, it's not fake. This does happen.
Yeah.
In almost every show.
Yeah, so you've got Toko Yada Omi. I've never watched.
Let's do this.
I've never watched this show.
Let me try it. Toko Yarami from Anohana, which is actually a really good show. That's not so much a spoiler either, because she's not there from the start of the show. It's at the beginning.
Yeah. So. Or Carla Yeager, who gets eaten in episode 2. Again, not really a spoiler.
No.
You've probably seen it.
And if you haven't, you've heard about it.
And
or you've seen clips. It is
and then
out there.
Trisha Elric from Full Metal Alchemist.
And if you haven't seen that one, shame on you.
Yes, shame.
That's a good one.
So the first family that we're going to talk to, again, no mom, is Fooly Cooly. Mm-hmm. So Fooly Cooly is a super weird anime, only 6 episodes.
Easy watch.
Less than 2 hours of a commitment, and you can get this whole first season done. So you've got the dad, Kamen Nanadaba, who's a writer. You've got his dad, Shigekune. You've got the main character, the son, Naota. Then you've got a brother aloof, Tatsuki, who's in America playing baseball. And in this story, you start out with Naota, and then Tatsuki's girlfriend, Mamimi, who are just hanging out after school. She's this Klingon ex-girlfriend now that he's got an American girlfriend. And you have no idea why these two are hanging around one another. So in the family dynamic, he goes home and he gets hit by a lady
on a Vespa, which I guess doesn't really matter story-wise, but it's become a really, iconic image on itself, right?
Yes.
Because it shows up it's referenced in a bunch of other animes. So
true.
It's gotten really popular from when it first aired, and it still holds to this day.
She hits him with a Vespa. He has no idea what's going on. He goes home and then finds out that his, hentai dad and grandpa are sitting there eating ramen with her. Now she's their space alien maid. And in all of this, we pretty much find out that the family dynamic is that Naota has this huge void in his life. So he's got this huge void in his life because his brother left, and kind of left him behind with this crazy dad, crazy grandpa, no mom again. And that leads to him having a void in his head. And within this void in his head, the crazy maid who ran him over with the Vespa, Haruko, can pull out objects. And that includes a guitar, a bass, robots. Robots.
Yeah, robots. There's
One
a
of
lot
them
us.
being Canty, who was once the vessel for the space pirate king Automusk. Again, you should watch this.
Slight spoilers. It'll make more sense if you actually watch it.
Yes.
So
Less than 2 hours, lots of enjoyment.
I actually planned to rewatch it, and then I didn't. But it's 6 episodes, and it's one that you should check out regardless. It's one that you should always, at least watch once, I think.
And then there's also alternative and progressive,
Which I haven't seen, but
they're also good. I haven't watched them like 15 bajillion times like I have FLCL, but All right, moving on. One of the big 3, Bleach. Again, no mom. You've got...
Not a spoiler either, because, shonen moms don't exist, first of all.
Exactly. So you've got Dr. Dad, Ishin, who is always giving Ichigo, the main character, because it's Bleach, you should all know this by now, a martial arts like karate wake up, where he pretty much attacks him every morning.
Or even when he gets home, I think it also shows he tries to surprise attack him too. So he's one of those, I guess, eccentric dads in anime that are always, they love you, but they show you in that really weird, kind of roughhousey way.
Exactly.
So, 2 sisters.
2 sisters, Karin and Yuzu. And then you've got...
I think Yuzu... Wait, was it Yuzu?
Yuzu.
Yes, you're right. I didn't change that here.
You looked that up.
Oops.
So then later, part of the whole thing, Rukia shows up and becomes kind of a family protector. So out of Ichigo's, wanting to protect his family, he becomes a Soul Reaper and then starts protecting other people. And he finds out that he's got all these soul powers and can be a Shinigami or Soul Reaper.
And with a lot of these type of shows, it doesn't just stay with, I guess, blood family. It kind of starts extending out to a family of choice.
Orihime, Chado.
All of them. What's his name?
The Quincy?
Yeah, him too. But there's the other one, Renji.
Renji, yeah.
All of them eventually are gonna, are his family, and each of them come with their own, unique quirks that make them. That also show that why they all get together.
And one of the catalysts for all of this for Ichigo being able to become a Soul Reaper is that he saw his mom got killed by a hollow by the river.
Again, a lot of protagonist energy.
So that kind of awakened his spiritual energy. So, and then later on in the season, there's a false soul that comes so when Ichigo leaves his body, it falls over. So they shove Kon in there, and Kon kind of becomes like the family dog who takes care of his body while, Ichigo's killing hollows.
You have all the hallmarks of just an eccentric family. A weird dad, 2 sisters that kind of weird,
One super
sweet, acts like the mom, the other's kind of cynical.
Yes.
Then you have all these other friends that start becoming part of your family, and now you have the dog.
Yep,
so,
exactly.
It's textbook.
So,
but it's also pretty enjoyable.
Another, I would say, unlikely family is Dr. Stone. So in Dr. Stone, we have Senku, Ishigami, and the Byakuya
That's
Ishigami.
His dad, or his adopted dad, actually.
So, adopted son, adopted dad. We don't often hear too much about adoption beyond, granted, Moriarty this season, but not often is it the protagonist is adopted and the dad, and they actually connect and love one another. It's usually they hate one another, or there was some alternative, ulterior motive.
Again, like Moriarty, but yeah.
Yeah. But not in Dr. Stone. In Dr. Stone, we get they love each other because they push each other. And they put in their love of science connects both of them together so much that, I mean, season 1 has already ended and it's almost been like, what, 9 months?
Yeah, it's good.
So
If you haven't seen it, sorry. The statute of limitations for spoilers isn't as long as like murder and stuff. So I guess one of the ones that showcases how they do is, or how they, how each one motivates the other is Senku. As a child, it shows that he kind of pushed his dad to be the astronaut, like, because he knows that's his dad's dream. So he comes up with the machine to help him get used to
the inner ear like type stuff.
And even his dad was like, it actually made it a little worse. It wasn't as helpful, but it was the feeling behind it that helped his dad to help Byakuya to think, well, I want to do this, not just for me anymore, but also to show my son.
So it's the faith in each other's brilliance that really brings out the family aspect in this show. Let's see here. Even if those family bonds are thousands of years apart. So Stone World, everyone gets petrified, right? So unless you were in space. But again, like we said, statute of limitations on spoilers. So basically the dad leaves this breadcrumb trail of different tales for his son thousands of years to make scientific leaps and bounds so that they can get civilization back on their feet. And that's what Dr. Stone's really about, is that, and they do it in a hilarious way with all of the different devices. Then again, remember, always, don't try this at home. They always have that warning. All right, so next one we're going to talk about is
Kakushi Goto, right?
Kakushi Goto.
Yes. So that one is one that I watched. It came out earlier this year. It was probably like the winter season, I think. But
all right, we're coming up on winter, so it'd probably be summer
of this past year. So like it would have been our January, I think.
Was it?
It was 2020. I don't remember exactly when. Anyways, this tells the story of a dad whose name is Kakushi. He's a manga artist, but his manga is more of the joke type, ecchi kind.
Yeah, dirty jokes.
Yes. It's the title of his work is called Balls of Fury. So if that doesn't already give you an idea of what kind of stuff he draws, it's he's a single dad, again, no mom, as per the usual in anime. And he's worried about what his daughter would think. Her name's Hime. She's 10 years old.
Literally means princess.
Yes. He's worried about what she would think if she found out what kind of job he has. And to hide this fact, he goes to really great lengths. So their relationship is really cute. But it is always that he's always seems like this close to being caught, and he's constantly trying to come up with different things to get out of it. Every day he leaves home in a suit and tie, carries a briefcase, and then as soon as he's sure he's in the clear, he swaps it out. He goes into shorts, t-shirt, and he has a little seat cushion. And then he goes and draws his manga. And then he goes back.
Now, the interesting thing, why he would want to hide this so much from his daughter, is that the mom, who is dead, obviously, who's also unnamed in the series, doesn't even have a name. So dead, she doesn't even have a name. The family is split because the mom comes from a family of famous artists. So him being a joke manga artist is kind of a real slap in the face. So it creates this divide in the family. And that divide pretty much keeps them away from her whole side of the family. So that's one of the reasons why he'd want to hide the fact that he makes joke anime. Or manga.
Yeah. But it was one of those shows that really surprised me. Outside of them being, obviously a weird kind of family because he's always trying to hide it. Like even his editor would come by to the house and drop things off, and to try to throw that off, he would try to tell his daughter, "Oh, he's the CEO," and so she treated him as if he were like a boss or something. So things like that. It's got a lot of jokes, but it also tells a really heartfelt story, I guess, about the dad and his daughter. So it's on Funimation right now. If you want to give it a try, it's pretty good.
All right. The last thing that second to last thing that we're going to talk about is Fruits Basket. So Fruits Basket is, don't often talk. We talk more shonen than we do shoujo.
Mm-hmm. But this one is very good.
Yes, it's very good. So you've got Toru Honda, who is a girl who enters the lives of the Soma family. Mm-hmm. Well, her parents are dead, naturally. Mm-hmm. Gotta have some dead parents. And she lives with her grandpa. Well, the grandpa, he gets his house renovated. And in the meantime, the grandpa goes to live with one of the other relatives, and she says, you know what, those guys are a bunch of jerks. I'd rather live in the woods. So in the woods...
It's more... I mean, they are jerks. It shows it a few episodes. Yeah. But it's also more that she just doesn't want to seem like a bother. So she figures, I'll go camp in the woods and just be really self-reliant. And, I mean, it doesn't work because in the first episode, she gets caught.
So the woods happen to belong to the Soma family. So basically, she goes and lives with them for a little bit. When the house is finished, she goes back to live with the relatives. They're all pretty much trash and
they're terrible,
garbage people. Just throw the whole family away, basically. And then the Soma family comes in to rescue them. The main three people that we see at the beginning are Yuki, Kyo, and Shigure.
Shigure, yeah.
Shigure.
So the Somas they have this curse where they are cursed with zodiac spirits. The way that works is if they're hugged by someone of the opposite sex, they immediately transform into these. So Kyo and Yuki are the cat and the rat, respectively.
Yeah. So Yuki's the mouse, Kyo's the cat.
Mm-hmm. And their personalities are kind of, I guess, personified by their zodiac spirits, or the vice versa. So they're always fighting.
Yeah.
They're always at each other's throats. They get into random karate fights because
all over the house.
First of all, they don't like each other that much, and even when it starts becoming something where they can start respecting each other, they don't know how to actually do that. So it leads to a lot of lost fights for Kyo, and then broken screen doors, and then they get in trouble with Shigure because they have to fix everything. Mm-hmm.
So they fight like
cats and
mouse.
Cats and mouses. Yeah, cats and mice.
So the main in the Zodiac legend, the rat tricks the cat, so the cat never makes it into the Zodiac. So that's why there's a grudge between the two of them. And he always feels like he's the odd man out in the family because he's part of the Zodiac, but he's not an official one of the 12.
Yes, because of that story, or at least that's how it's implied or inferred. But a lot of the fun from the first season is watching, because you meet all the other Somas and they all have their own weird things going on.
Yeah, like one acts like a horse, like it's really strong.
One of them's a snake. And so it's just, and then as you go further in, you start seeing how Shigure, Ayame, who's Yuki's brother, and then the family doctor Hattori were their own kind of trio when they were like in high school, and now as adults it shows how they interact with each other, further just emphasizing how weird this family is, and it's funny. But
so good times all around.
It's a good show. It's not to go into it and you started out thinking, oh, it's this kind of show, but there's more to it. It's not just them being kooky. It's also a story about learning to accept yourself and being able to say, or being able to believe that you deserve to be loved and can love. And I think that's a really good story with the bonus of having great characters. So, and I've only seen season 1, and I'm gonna watch season 2, and then season 3 comes out next year. So this is another one that definitely should be checked out.
All right, so hopefully you have already done your Black Friday pillaging. If not, get on the internet and get on top of that.
Amazon is your friend.
Other than that, we'll end with a nice warning to all you mothers out there. Please, 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 if you don't want to be dead, have mediocre children. The child in the classroom that doesn't really have a number or a name, just kind of sits in the middle.
The protagonist's friend.
No, not even the protagonist's friend. The protagonist's friend's friend that sits
and you will be guaranteed to live, because remember, the higher the protagonist energy that a child has, the higher chance you have to die.
Also, don't die
Mhm.
either, because otherwise your children might try and bring you back to death from the dead. So, Ed and Al.
Exactly.
So-
Learn from the mistakes of others.
So, have boring children and don't die, and you'll be all right.
Mhm.
All right.
Should be it. All right.
Yep.
Happy
that's all.
Thanksgiving and Black Friday.
So, we'll see you next episode when we talk to you more.